Continuing on, this is the end result of putting synthetic foods, things that are not real, counterfeit foods, counterfeit all kinds of drugs that lodges in the system, and you wind up with a liver that looks like my bucket. It's all corroded. How about your kidneys filled with stones from inorganic minerals that you're sold to get into the cell? It winds up in the kidneys. And the rest of this, as your skin begins to die and look like that, you cover it up with all kinds of goos, very expensive goos. And then your arteries look like my wire. Wouldn't it be interesting to know that there's the possibility of cleaning all this up naturally? And it's dependent on you to say, all right, what is it that you guys are doing? And in our toolbox, we've got some of the most interesting elements that are all organic. They're designed to build energy, which is at the heart of healing. It's at the heart of life. And then the ability to clean the exhaust that's left from building energy. Clean that out of tissues. We've got elements that reach deep into the tissue and bind to those toxins and clean them out of your whole body. Wouldn't that be interesting? To give you energy, to change that aging process that so many people are concerned with. Living in a world that's just got them in a body that hurts, can't move, and they see no end to it. That's what we're going to give you, is a fine approach to where you can handle it, you can understand it, and I'm going to tell you right up front, it's very inexpensive to change your eating habits, increase your energy, clean your body the way it was designed. These are just parts of the game that we're going to introduce you to, and it's going to be on your part to pay attention, to listen, and say, I'm willing to change because what I've got, this body that I live in, is not the one I really had in mind of creating. Steve Wilson, thenefesh.com, 970-260-1740. You know, the body is designed to clean itself on an everyday basis. And we've discussed that on how the brain functions without a lymph system. Now, the interesting aspect of this is from right here down, our lymph system is designed to take the debris that's collected in your body out of the body. Dead cells and all of those things that are very quite toxic to you. So the Hayflick limit came into play because there was a guy by the name of Hayflick in the early 60s doing his PhD in biochemistry that found that the cell wouldn't split indefinitely. In fact, it had limited times that it would split. And in doing so, there is a time factor, a count factor, rather than a time factor on how many times the cell will split. And what he found is that there's 40 to 60 times that the cell will split. And by the time you reach about 20 to 25, you have consumed 50% of the number of times in growing how many times your cell will split. And then from there to the age of about 50, it splits again, and you wind up with some 30 to 40% of viable cells in your body that are splitting and replenishing themselves. We could easily say that the aging process begins at 20. If that's the case, how could we influence that? One of the ways would be simply, if we know that we have limited functionality in the cells, give them a cleaner environment to work in, a healthier environment. Recognize that we are not going to be as fast as we were when we were 20. So there's a host of things that take place. One of them is a thing called autophagy. And it's a Nobel Prize winning study that happened in 2016 that we found that at night, if you're eating a fat-based diet, only fat, and it has to be a medium chain triglyceride, medium chain fat, that at night that fat will go back through the body and it will begin to clean up all of the debris and convert it to energy. So you can see from here up, we have a natural system that if you will be obedient to how your biochemistry works, that will in fact clean up the debris in your body. And then as we work from here down, it is about a lymph system that's designed to clean your body, only if you eat correctly. And that's one of the most interesting things, because you see, now we have a very measured system that talks about how you can live a very productive life and maybe even intervene in that aging process where all these horrible diseases and fatigue and mindset of mental abilities, they show up. So how would we recognize it? What's in our tool chest? Well, we know what proteins do. We know what carbohydrates do. We now figured out that what fats do. So we've simply built a product called Be Pure that encourages you to understand that oxygen is everything in terms of building cells. One of the most important things is a little thing called vasodilation, and that is a very important factor. Red beets produce vasodilation at an all-time high. Along with that, increase oxygen by upwards to 60%. So when we can increase oxygen to the cell, we've created the wonderful thing called life, that cell. Along with that, all of the vitamins and minerals that are made in beets, plus the antioxidants, and that stuff that cleans the liver. Because you see, if your liver is not clean, none of the body is clean. The Chinese say, clean liver, clean brain. So we're beginning to see the connection between our organs here and our organs upstairs. Along with that, we use sweet potatoes. What an incredible find with sweet potatoes, because in a nation that we catch people just nibbling all of the time because of satiety, because the nutrients aren't in their food sources, so they continue to eat salts and sugars. Well, here we have a little thing found in sweet potatoes that increases the satiety of the body so you don't crave. And in doing so, we literally convert the body back into a fat burning mode. And in the fat, we got to have a clean liver, because you see, fat is not filled with energy, but it's the storage place that the body has for toxins. So your liver has to be in shape to deal with all of that. So the glutamate, all of these things, the leptin and the adiponectin and the ghrelin, these are hormones that as we increase and get them under control, you won't get hungry, and we burn fat more efficiently. Then the protein that we use is goat whey. Very interesting find, because the fat is very small, doesn't need to be homogenized, and in doing so, it's fully in process in 20 minutes. So you have cellular workup at that incredible short time. There's very little debris. The electrolytes are in there. So now we have given you the basics to what we have. And then we throw in a little bit of hemp protein, because you see, hemp is loaded with essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, and 9s. So we see the incredible advantages of that. So what is it that we've really accomplished? You have, looking at you, a clean liver versus a dirty liver. The liver is designed as a fat burner, and it cleans the blood. If it's not functioning, not only do you wind up with autoimmune diseases, but you can't lose weight. Along with that, the skin begins to die, because we got to eliminate those toxins from the body. On one side, you have the kidneys that are clean. On the other side, if you can't get the junk out of your body, then it begins to find a storage place in your kidneys. Kidney stones, I believe, is what they call it. And in the frontal part of us, we have this big old belly. And tell me that you don't see that wandering all around the country. Along with that, how about a brain that's not functioning correctly? And in our culture today, we are in the information age. That is a critical part of our makeup. And if you don't keep it clean, if you don't keep it to where it can work and comprehend, then that functions the whole of the body, versus a healthy brain which is free of drugs and pharmaceuticals, naturally deriving its energy and its cleanliness from foods. Those are the worlds that we want to talk about. And then we decided to throw in a little thing called D-ribose. D-ribose is the energy for the heart. Rebuilds the energy pool. Now we know about nitric oxide, and if we can get the arteries to expand, more oxygen, more blood flow, the offside of that would be perhaps lower blood pressure, all of the things that are plus. It's known as a very strong vasodilator. So if you can increase the size of the artery, you've got to have more blood flow, meaning more nutrients to the cell, meaning more waste delivered from the cell. It's nothing but good. And then, of course, there's a little thing called CoQ10, which is known as the spark of life. What an incredible product it is. As we make this stuff naturally in the body, when we age, we produce a lot less of it. So we've looked at it in terms of a powerful antioxidant. Can we get it in food form? Can we get it into your body in the right form? And what happens when you've got it? You increase your energy, you increase your antioxidant substantially, the health of the mitochondria, the health of the heart, the life goes on. It's immeasurable, the importance of CoQ10. And you're seeing it now today. So our whole approach to this, if your body is healthy and you're eating properly for 1/3 of what you're currently spending, and enjoy the life perhaps free of pharmaceuticals, perhaps free of obesity, perhaps free of fatigue, and sleeping better, is that of interest to you? Those are the questions, and we have the answers, and it's really quite easy to do.